We are winning decisively. Those words from the Secretary of War earlier as U.S. forces continue to pound Iran. New CENTCOM video shows airstrikes targeting Iranian naval boats near the Strait of Hormuz, even hitting a fast attack boat that was pulled out of the water, hiding on a trailer beneath a tree. So finding them where they can. Welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino.
Morning to you. It's a Thursday. The war grinds on. I'm Bill Hemmer. Major escalation in this war as Iran intensified the attacks on its Gulf Arab neighbors. They went after several refineries that supply much of the world's energy, natural gas, and oil after an Israeli strike on its main natural gas field. Meanwhile, the U.S. military remains focused on degrading and destroying Iran's war machine.
We are hunting them down methodically, ruthlessly, and overwhelmingly, like no other military in the world can do. And the results speak for themselves. To date, we've struck over 7,000 targets across Iran and its military infrastructure. That is not incremental.
They came into this fight with a lot of weapons. This is why we continue to be as aggressive and assertive as we can against their ballistic missile capability, both their medium-range ballistic range missile capabilities.
And we are waiting to hear from President Trump and any remarks about Iran when he welcomes Japan's prime minister to the White House.
In the meantime, let's get after it. Trey Ying's live in Tel Aviv. Gillian Turner reports from the State Department. Let's start a new hour and begin there with you. Gillian, good morning.
Good morning to you, Bill. Secretary Hegseth, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, insisted this morning that America is winning this war against Iran definitively. They also insisted again today that as the campaign progresses, and this is something they said last week, as it progresses, Iran's capabilities are being diminished, but the U.S. is in fact gaining leverage on a daily basis. Listen.
General, overnight, Iran launched missiles across the Gulf. They managed to hit the Saudi oil refinery on the Red Sea. What does it mean that they have that capability now, 3 weeks into the war?
We are continuing to hunt and find them and kill them, and we will continue to do so. So they still retain some capability. And we have layered defenses throughout the region.
Asked about the new war supplemental that's reportedly been sent to the White House for consideration, Hegseth didn't deny that his department could need as much or more than $200 billion in additional funds.
As far as $200 billion, I think that number could move, obviously. It takes money to kill bad guys. So we're going back to Congress and our folks there to ensure that we're properly funded.
Increasingly, Iran is treating U.S. diplomatic outposts in the region, embassies, consulates, as legitimate military targets, most recently in Baghdad, something senior officials in Washington say is fairly unprecedented.
The best defense is a good offense, and so we're not afraid to go after and kill anybody, and we have a lot of them attempting to target our diplomatic facilities. Iran, we're not surprised that they would indiscriminately target.
Repressed again by reporters today, Hegseth, Caine, not giving a timeline for this military engagement, but they did reiterate the president's commitment that this is not going to be some kind of a forever war. So sometime between now and forever is when it's going to end.
Got it. So $200 billion is the initial ask. He said that I could move in the press conference today. There was a brand new statement from many of our allies, including Japan, about the Strait of Hormuz. Give us the news and we'll react, Gillian.
So, Bill, this just into the newsroom provided to me from the British Embassy here in Washington as we were coming to air. But the allies are now saying that they are ready to contribute to appropriate efforts to ensure safe passage through the strait. We welcome the commitment of nations who are engaging in preparatory planning. As we all know very well, Bill, because we've been watching this unfold for the last few days, the president has been trying to rally support from the European countries, as has Secretary Rubio. I'm sure Secretary Hegseth has been doing the same behind the scenes. This is maybe too early to say, but sounds like potentially a capitulation. They're insisting that they want to contribute. And this came, by the way, Bill, from the UK, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Japan, as you mentioned.
Okay, thank you, Gillian. Nice to see you there. Rest the voice, going to need you, okay? Thank you, Department of State. Just to reiterate that, we express our readiness to contribute we welcome the commitment of nations who are engaging in preparatory planning. So maybe there are more who come on board soon.
It's not necessarily that easy to immediately get because you have domestic politic issues that you have to deal with, and of course a lot of these countries in Europe are dealing with very left-wing bases that really do not like Israel.
Yeah.
So, but they also need to get this strait open so that they don't crash their economies. So it's complicated, but it sounds like they're getting there. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.